Hi there and welcome to another edition of What's the Word? What a time to be alive. Guys, I'm joined this week by Shane Mann from Ladbrokes. Mark steps in as well, and this week we're channeling our World Cup, I suppose, theme. And you, Johnny, I guess you're our senior analyst this week. Look at the youthful faces beside you.
Yeah.
You are?
Something I didn't want to be called.
What?
Something I didn't really want to be called.
Oh dear. Anyway, World Cup. Royal Ascot just around the corner. We have lots more about Royal Ascot to come a little later on in the show, and of course Love Island as well. So, want to have a word about that, Johnny? Big fan?
No, I'm not a fan of Love Island, to be honest. But I believe you. It was one of the things you asked us before we came on.
To watch Love Island?
Yeah.
We just need to be on the ball. You just need to be culturally aware.
Right.
Mark, you a fan?
I think I'd see Offaly win in All Ireland before I watch the episode of Love Island.
What?
So,
Shane blatantly watching it. He's not going to admit it.
not.
He's watching. He's not going to admit it in front of the lads.
we have a few closet viewers here in the Racing Post office now that have come out today. Some even going to Taylor Swift, which is pretty shocking admission,
Well,
I think. Yeah.
probably drowning in free tickets for that. But looking forward to the World Cup as well. Have you had a few bets in the World Cup, Johnny?
Not really. I like France and Spain outright, and Lukaku for a top scorer. And looking at Russia and Saudi Arabia yesterday, I think Uruguay should really win that group easily enough. But by the time you listen to this, there will have been a result in their games.
Okie doke. But yeah, we'll stick that in just in case to make sure you're confirmed.
After
you're
time.
right. Absolutely. Mark, have you had any World Cup bets?
There's one I like there, Tom Rogic from Celtic. He's 9-1 to be top goal scorer for Australia. Now, this man here, when on the big occasion, he's come up for Celtic. I think he scored in 4 of the last 6 Old Firms, something along those lines. When Australia need a man, he's going to play in the number 10 role. I can easily see him popping up there in a forward line that's going to be shifting entirely. So I think he could be there. Brendan Rodgers calls him the magic man if Celtic can hold on to him this year. But yeah, he makes a bit of appeal at 9s.
Sit down, Mark Langdon. Don't you hear that?
And he got a bit of shifting into it as well.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And Shane, you got any bets running for the World Cup? Anything you look forward to?
Germany or LA. In terms of potential winners, I think Argentina and Spain. Of course, Spain been in the news this week with the whole managerial situation. Seems an absolute farce, really. But I think Spain and France. Yeah.
Same as. The reason I like Spain was because they went out in the betting after the managerial thing, which I don't think is going to affect them at all.
And like Johnny Lukaku for the top goal scorer, I think he'll rack up a good few goals.
We're literally 3 from 3 together then.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's not good.
Just avoid us for the weekend.
Saturday's racing, the weekend's racing. It's all a little bit before the Lord Mayor's show, isn't it? Looking forward to Royal Ascot. Anyway, quick word on Saturday. 9 meetings, 1 pattern race. Shane, give us a few prices for this 3 o'clock from York, the Skybet Grand Cup Stakes here.
Short enough field here for this year's renewal, Tom. Marmello 2-1 favourite at the moment. Weekender 11-4. Time to study. A debatable topic this week with the Leaving Cert on the course. 13-2. Giretto 9-1, along with Melodic Motion 9-1. 10-1 Algometer. 10-1 Duke of Bronte. Clever Cookie 16s.
Anything stand out for you here, Mark?
Hard to get away from Marmello here. Even on ratings there, he has a bit in hand with Everton Bar Weekender. This horse was sent off 6-1 to win the Melbourne Cup last year, you know, and I think maybe he's a little bit flattered by the run with Vizirabad last time. Vizirabad is one of them horses who does it quite easy. Sumian obviously be one of them lads making it look very flash. And I think this horse, Ryan Moore taking over here, hard to get away from. Wouldn't be losing my life over him, but hard to see him beaten.
Yeah, can't see past Marmello. Johnny, you're going to put
some
rub against this horse?
If I were having an each way bet, it'd be Melodic Notion, who just keeps progressing, and she might be able to step up to get involved. And it's not a bad each way betting race.
Yeah, I think you have the 8, don't you?
Marmello, in fairness, just that form behind Vizirabad. I really like Vizirabad for the Gold Cup, as I'll mention presently, and he's probably perfect for Ryan Moore. He's very good attitude. Just go out in front and probably dictate. Doesn't look a bad bet at the prices. Very hard to get away from.
You've been reading my notes. Melodic Motion as well. If I see this race.
I actually kind of like Algometer here. Stepped up to this trip for the first time. Has some really classy form as a 3-year-old. Very lightly raced. Out of a Group 1 winning mare by Archipenko. Yeah, lots of boxes ticked. Almost a surprise not trained by Sir Mark Prescott.
In those colours.
No, I'd put him up as an each way squeak there in that only pattern race of the afternoon on Saturday. Those 9 meetings. Sunday, by the way, pattern action from Cork. Munster Oaks, this could be a pretty decent renewal. Yeah,
very open field, Tom, for this year's renewal of the Munster Oaks. At the tissue prices at the moment, I have Bloomfield and Jay at 4-1 joint favourites, Flattering and Easter Lily at 5s, around 15-2 Sizzling, we go 8s bar.
Anything for you in the Munster Oaks? Mark, I know you've done your homework. We'll leave Johnny check.
I don't know now. Look, I think Jay, the impression she made on debut was really nice. And Bye Bye Baby, more experienced than her last time. I like the way she kept going at it. A nice attitude, lovely filly going forward. probably side with her. A little bit concerned about the ground, but if you're concerned about her for the ground, you have to be concerned about Bloomfield. She won over -6 before, soft ground. This is going to be a different ball game here. Nice filly from McCreary, but I'd be going with Jaega for Wells.
You'd be worried about her on the ground, yeah?
A little bit, yeah.
Johnny?
Yeah, I'm with Bloomfield, but there is obviously a ground proviso. She's just really nice daughter, Teofilo. Great attitude. She always gives a run and finds plenty if she comes under any sort of a squeeze. I think Jaega probably wants a bit of an ease. Fine big horse. Didn't do much wrong at all in her second start. The O'Brien horses are much for muchness. They're nearly typical of the sort of type you get in this race at Cork. Kind of he often runs 3 or 4 in it. Nearly always by Galileo. Similar enough ratings. And he wouldn't be sure which of them will come out best. But I think Bloomfield each way. I still don't see her not running a big race.
Yeah, absolutely lovely horse. Won on debut at the Curran, quite well fancied too. Just always held her in the highest regard. Rest of the weekend before we move on to Royal Ascot. Anything standing out for you, Johnny?
Yeah, I'm a bit like Geno here when he reams off about 9 names of horses that he fancies. But I do have a few here. I think Michael Horrigan Jr. has a good thing in Ferrymount Boy at Downpatrick on Saturday. 0-95 handicap chase.
That's what we're looking for.
What more
That's
do you
what you want. Yeah, go on.
On Sunday, Biddy the Boss at the same venue for Gavin Cromwell. And really like Unicorn for Joseph O'Brien at the same venue. And finishing off with Red Avenger at Limerick. Damien English is targeting a big day at Limerick tomorrow. He's 3 lively runners, and this horse will probably be the longest price of the 3, but bit of value, I think.
It's starting to sound like you're going to play a few little multis on that, and this could be the one that makes it a
that
big win.
That lets me down.
Lets you down.
Yeah.
Mark, anything else for you over the course of the weekend?
Feel the same with Billy the Boss. Hopefully give Ger Fox his first winner since returning. And my God, last time he would have had a sore, you know what, after coming when the irons broke on him there the last day at the stall. Other than that, the race in which the winning rider wins its weight in Champagne, the ladies' race at York, I like Tapi Libra. Joe Mason won the race last year off the same mark. Takes 2 runs to get him fit. He's had 2 runs already, and the horse himself needs quick ground. Getting quick ground here ticks a lot of boxes. The other one that jumped out maybe at York and also on ITV, Squats. 20-1 there. I thought it was a cracking price. Again, off its last winning mark. And beforehand, this horse has finished second to Labrisa Breeze in 2 big handicaps at Ascot. Again, takes a couple of runs. Best form is later in the year, but I think you got a right each way chance. Oisin Murphy takes over from Georgia Cox. So plenty to like about him. Drawn 14, but I think the last 2 winners are from stall 9, so wouldn't lose my life over it.
Okie doke. And anything else for you, Shane?
Just one, Tom, on the Saturday, the 3:15 at Sandown, Randox Health handicap over a mile. Almora for Richard Hannon, who won this race actually back in 2014, rated 89 now for Hamden Al Maktoum. We'll appreciate the step back up a trip 2 mile here as well, and has a decent record over course and distance as well. That's Almora.
Yeah. Danny and Jack to win Love Island, my best bet. Right, let's move on to Royal Ascot. Do you have your top hats at the ready? You going over this year?
No, I'm not. No.
Oh, okay.
No. I've never been, actually.
Have you not?
No.
Oh my goodness.
I think you need paperwork to get into some areas, don't you? Could you be okay on that front?
No, really, no.
We're going to have a quick fire quiz on Ascot. Well, before we start, actually, 5 years since the great man Henry Cecil passed, incredibly, he's still the joint top winning most trainer at Royal Ascot. Who is your favourite? We're going to do this without Frankel, obviously. So your favourite Henry Cecil horse?
So basically, he was training at his height before I really got properly into racing. That makes it sound, but like I really did like Midday when she was around. Her and Sariska, they were good, good fillies. But it's like the Henry Cecil Grow. I couldn't really, I can't relate to that so much because he was a little bit before my time, really, before Frankel came along. So yeah, that's a fairly unromantic answer.
Yeah, well, you take Stolen North on. I really like Midday as well, and like what you said, I was before the time of the Ramarumas, your Oates, your Commander, Chiefs, them sort of horses, but probably one that's going to sound absolutely bananas here. I have always had a soft spot for the horse that won the charity race at Cheltenham Plato. From a personal point of view, it was the day that I got to meet Sir Henry Cecil, and otherwise I never would have. And I remember my dad always telling me at the time you met him at the Curragh, he said when you meet him, you know he's a special fella. And I was only 13 or whatever, and I was wearing a little bowler hat, and he came over, he says, I've got a sports coat that would go rather well with that, he said, how do you gel that hair, I think it'll look rather well with me, and he's rolling back what he has, and yeah, just a little special memory for me that I have from him, and always stood out, and although Plato ended up being rated 89, and something similar over hurdles for Declan Queally, that's always stood out to me as something that I've always had a soft spot.
Oh, wow. What a great story.
Lovely story.
Yeah, Trump's yours. Shane, you're?
Yeah, like the 2 lads have mentioned Midday already, obviously Frankel. Midday, after it was turned over at Epsom as well, went on to win 5 Group 1s and incidentally gave Henry his first winner at the Breeders' Cup as well. So, and an unusual filly, she had 24 starts. I think she was fairly durable as well.
Unlike
cracking filly.
Sariska, she decided to keep going.
That's true, yeah.
Didn't turn Sarah. Anyway, my favourite was Bozzer Sham, of course, famed by that Bozzer Shambles. But the year before, she won the Champion Stakes at Newmark, and this is how classy he is. Sheikh Mohammed had taken his horses out the year before that, and Sheikh Mohammed sponsored the Champion Stakes and owned the second, Halling, and had to hand Henry Cecil the trophy.
Beautiful.
Brilliant. Magic of Bozzer Sham, but obviously she'll be renowned more for getting beaten by Pilsudski and all that, but I thought that was a mark of the man.
He was a gentleman, to be fair. Nobody could say a bad thing about him.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, we're going to have some questions about Royal Ascot. Quick fire quiz for you, right? We're going to start. It's simple. It's predictions, Johnny. It's easy. It's easy, right? Who be top trainer?
Aidan O'Brien.
Top trainer?
Aidan.
Cool. I don't think you will. Top jockey?
Ryan Moore.
Ryan.
Great. Will Sergei Prokopiev go for the Coventry or the Norfolk?
Coventry.
Wow. Give us one Royal Ascot punting rule.
I don't have much specific for the week, but just like every other festival, don't lose your head after day one.
Say Aidan's fillies, watch them from improvement. Even Song improved from her first start then to win the Ribblesdale. Same with Bracelet to win the same race. Lily Langtry, same as. Just watch them fillies first run out. You might get a bit of value second time.
Shane, anything for you?
As Johnny said, Tom, I mean, it's complete discipline you need for this week. Similar trace to the Cheltenham Festival. You know, it's such a fantastic week's racing on the flat this year. And yeah, as Johnny mentioned, just don't lose your head after the first head. Plenty more opportunities. If you fancy something strong towards the end of the week, then go hard towards the end of the week compared to the start of the week. So.
You two been hanging out 6 weeks.
Yeah, been stealing my nose.
What is this? Well, this phrase of the week, by the way, which you won't be aware of, is peng sort. So if something is a sort, it's good, but if it's a peng sort, it's absolutely top class.
Right.
I'm translating for you.
There you are.
Of these, Lady Rayla or Batash?
Yeah, tentatively Batash.
Washington, D.C.
I think Batash,
He is not a peng sort.
Batash will improve for that run.
Okie doke.
Would need to.
Is Cracksman a peng sort? Absolute cert?
Well, he's not if he runs like he did at Epsom, in fairness, you know, but maybe he just doesn't like the track, you know. He's destroyed, you know, probably the main rival at the track already.
A lot happened at the gates as well. If you look back at the gates when they were going in, I think he got very busted up in the stalls before the office. Well, that wouldn't have helped.
I think
yes or no?
So.
Yes or no, Cracksman?
Oh yeah, yes.
Want to take him on. Think Epsom will have to mark. Think Cliffs and Moore, the standout 16s with Ladbrokes is good.
Oh,
can't be
you
having
were doing
him.
so
Can't
well.
be having him.
Cliffs.
You'll see you next week.
Oh my goodness. You were doing really well. You were doing really well.
I feel that way.
Yeah.
Listen,
If there was a well-named horse.
But each way
Cracksman, yes or no?
Oh, he'll win. Yeah.
Okay. I'm still affected by that, Mark. Right. Order St. George, Stradivarius, Vizirabad.
Massive Vizirabad fan. I don't think Order St. George is unbeatable. I think they'll ride him handier than last year when he was beaten. Vizirabad's lovely prep for the race, obviously winning the other day. I thought his performance at Maidan was astonishing, and I backed him for the race straight away afterwards. Wasn't sure if he'd turn up, but now it looks like he will.
Brilliant.
He was 10 to 1 then, but he's probably a better bet now with 5-6 to 1 because he's going to run, if that makes sense. And I cannot see him but being in the first three at the very least. I think he's a superstar.
Order St. George, Stradivarius, Vizirabad.
Marginally Order St. George, but I think Vizirabad and him, it'll be tactically, this could be the race of the week.
You're a pacemaker. You're a pacemaker. You're struggling now.
You need a pacemaker.
I think, Stradivarius at the price, Tom, just looking at the current order, he's 7 to 4 now, Order St. George from 2 to 1 in the last few hours. 2 to 1 Stradivarius, 9 to 2 Vizirabad now, 8 to 1 Bar, but it is a cracking renewal. I think Stradivarius.
Big Orange not being in it doesn't really detract.
No,
like I don't think he'd win.
Speaking of not paying sorts, Expert Eye, what about him? Is he worth another chance?
I don't know. I mean, the 6 furlongs it may or may not be the making of him, but it does look like the last chance saloon. You know, he's been pretty keen in both of his starts this year. Maybe he's just gone at the game. I don't know. Maybe he's another.
Stick with Sariska for the team.
Air Force Blue or whatever.
Blue,
but I would love to see him bounce back. You know, you'd want a price to be backing him, to be honest.
Yeah. Expert Eye, yes or no?
Can see him running a nice race. I've always viewed him as more of a sprinting type than a miler, but I don't know if he's going to be good enough straight away on the switchback. Sometimes the horse can take a start in a sprint before really knowing what it's all about.
Learning. Yes or no?
No.
Okay, one horse for the Royal Hunt Cup.
I'll give Salt and Stall. I think Mick Halford.
He did a Portage a couple of years ago, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. This is just a very likeable, progressive type as well. Just looks ideal for the race. Yep.
Or the combat. Dennis Coakley and Oisin Murphy will surely be taking them out. nice run last year. Didn't have all the rub of the green in it. Off a nice mark compared to what he won off previously. Nice win in Maidan. Needs quick ground. Ticks a lot of boxes, but you need all the luck in the world.
One for the Royal Hunt Cup.
Gilgamesh at 14 to 1, Tom. 5 from 9 so far in a short career. Unlucky in the Victoria Cup, was only beaten a couple of lengths that day by Rip Orff. Then won the last day at York and really toughed it out as well. I think if he gets into a battle, it'll be hard to beat. And big price as well. So.
Will Wesley Ward win the Queen Mary?
Yeah, I was reading his comments during the week. He just seems to love that filly. The only worry is, you know, like Aidan will have 1 or 2 in this race that will be very strong at the wire, I think, particularly the Dan Silly filly, who somehow is running over 5 furlongs. So I think I'd be a little bit worried if she went off insanely fast, Wesley Ward's filly, but I just from his comments, he's really bullish, like, and you know, his record is unbelievable at Royal Ascot.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Yes or no, Wesley Ward to win Queen Mary?
Hard to get away from it. I'd say Jesse's filly that won there by No Nay Never. I think No Nay Never could be a big week for him taking over from Scat Daddy from a siren.
Nice winner at Leopardstown last night.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah. So I think that's an interesting one there, a bigger price, but hard to get away from Wes's.
Wesley Ward to win the Queen Mary?
He wins it, Tom, yeah.
And do you think it'll be a big week for Godolphin?
Yeah, I guess it will. It's hopefully Saul and Saul will help them, but it's time for Godolphin to you know. The interesting thing is the relationship between Godolphin and Coolmore has definitely evolved again, I suppose, to the extent that like we'll probably see a bit more from the signature stallions at both ends. But it absolutely.
You can't help but feel that Jim Bulger has actually started all that.
Yeah.
Like if you look through he did. He basically made the link between Godolphin and Galileo.
Yeah.
And now they're reaping the benefits using the likes of the new approach.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it is a really interesting development. Obviously, it's cooled with the buying Galileo yearly last year as well. Well, do you think it'll be a big week for Godolphin?
Don't see it being an outstanding week. Could be wrong here now. If you said to me a Coolmore week or a Godolphin week, I'd be saying Coolmore. Blue Point, though, interesting to hear that he worked really well during the week going for the King's Stand. That'd be quite interesting to see how he fares out.
Big week for Godolphin?
Yeah, I think so, Tom, yeah, especially off the back of winning the Derby with Massar at Epsom.
Good stuff. Right, let's get on to the remaining Group 1 races. Tuesday's just one of the most phenomenal days. Queen Anne, give us some prices, Shane, quickly.
Yeah, Rhododendron currently 5 to 2, Tom 5 to 1, Ben Battle 11 to 2, Recoletus, Lightning Spear Ace is 12's bar.
Anything for you in this Queen Anne, Johnny?
Lightning Spear, the prices, I don't see the price discrepancy. Rhododendron really makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it goes in the ground as well.
Yeah.
You can't really see
Very solid
Rhododendron
horse.
improving a massive amount.
Lovely horse, Lightning Spear, but Jesus, he's not a bit of a professional loser at this stage. I don't know, Rhododendron is lovely, but if he said that she was going to be the best of the milers round, you would have been a bit surprised. Deauville, if the ground went rolling, I know I'm going to get laughed out of town here again for my Cliffs and Moher, my whatever. But honestly, this fella,
It just goes to show you're a forgiving sort, Mark. That's all. It's a compliment to you.
That lock-in run was quite good, and he is better after he comes into fitness. You see him in America when he gets out there after 2 runs here. I think coming into his own at this time of year, if he gets the quick ground, he's interesting. If he doesn't, forget about him. And as you say, Rhododendron's the way to go. But
yeah, St James's Palace then, thoughts on this one, prices on this one, Shane?
Without Pro 5 to 2, Tom. Romani is 11 to 2, 11 to 2, tip to win 6's bar.
Anything for you here, Johnny?
This is the
St James's Palace.
Yeah,
I kind of like Wooten here, by the way, who I thought could absolutely draw a line through that run in France. He's been 6 or 8 to 1.
Yeah, I tend to agree there. It's open. I think I'd love to see Romanize win the race.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure if he was a bit flattered at the Curragh, and as such, US Navy flag I think can reverse the form. He looks like he's trained on. He gave a really good performance at the Curragh. He probably had to do a lot of donkey work and maybe paid the price.
He went for home quite early.
He did, yeah, and they don't look a vintage group, to be honest, this crowd, so I'd probably would US Navy flag.
6 to 1.
Mark?
yeah, I think 6 is a bit of an overreaction on the last day. They've gone quite hard. I think when you look at the sectionals, they have gone fast early, and he's paid the price late. He didn't even know if he was going to be a certain stayer over a mile. The French Guineas run was super. I think he's good value at 6s, but hey, man, I wouldn't rule him out. He was second in the French Guineas, and it was a rough race. Didn't stay last time in the French Derby. He's not a sexy profile, but he is a nice horse. He's coming up in the right direction there. I'd say him and US Navy flag taken on without parole. I can't have him.
20 to 1.
Yeah.
20 say, Gamble.
Very good.
Well, we kind of covered Prince of Wales Stakes, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
Cracksman. The Gold Cup, we kind of touched on this, but I wonder again, you are.
I'm very much for
Very much
Zero
for
Bet.
Zero
I do think Order St George, I don't think they're going to ride him like they did last year. That's one thing. I think they've learned this horse that he doesn't need to be ridden as if he doesn't stay, because he's a stayer with speed, as Dermot Weld said so many times down the years, but he is like, he doesn't, and if you roll him out in front, he's probably most effective.
I think last time made a man of him. I think last year in the Ascot Gold Cup, I think he grew up here, and I think he was lacking a bit of that because they weren't sure themselves he was going to stay. You see him since the Arc run was a cracker, and even when he toughed it out in long distance cup as well at the Champions Day in Ascot, I think he's come on a bit encouraged since. Not meaning to sound get into the mental side because Aidan O'Brien is the expert there, but I do think that he's a more battle hard and ready fella for this. And Vizirabad, he hasn't been pushed. And he definitely will be pushed here. I think it's
in fairness as well, Big Orange is really, really tough.
Oh, he's a stubborn devil.
And there were people saying, "Oh, he's dogged it after the race last year." I was like, "No, I don't think he did." To be fair,
I don't know. I think he might have just found Big Orange might have found just a little bit more in the last 50
yeah,
yards.
yeah, exactly.
Right, let's move on to Friday. Commonwealth Cup. Such a great addition to the. I think personally, it's such a great addition to the week. Shane, give us some price for the Commonwealth Cup because this is a cracker.
Currently, Tom, Equilateral 4-1, Sioux Nation 5s, Sands of Mali 6-1, Invincible Army 13-2. We go 8-1 bar.
Mark?
Yeah, I find it's tricky. I'd say Sioux Nation is probably the one that makes most appeal from this side of the water. But Speaking Colours, who was third that day, could hit the frame if it lines up here. Don't know if it does. That trial race was the Lacken Stakes. That's what Caravaggio won prior to going on there and doing it. Joseph Ryan got this horse from Marco Botti, and I think the improvement he's getting from some of these horses, a lovely run last time. There's definitely improvement to come from him. 25s each way, he could hit the frame. But not a race that I have immense confidence in, Anthony.
Commonwealth Cup, Johnny Hewitt.
I like Sioux Nation.
Yeah.
I think he's fine horse. His prep will set him up for this. He looked a little bit undercooked at Naas. I can't see him not being thereabouts.
And the Coronation Stakes, the final one we'll touch on Friday before we get your best bets of the Royal Ascot week. Anyway, Shane, prices for the Coronation Stakes, please.
Clemmy 4-1, Tipal 9-2, Windchimes 5-1, Alpha Centauri 5-1. We go 6s bar.
Johnny, in fairness, I think you were probably one of the first members of the Clemmy fan club. I think you popped her up when she got beaten in her maiden as an anti-post bet, but are you
33s for the Guineas,
still a fan?
That went well. That was very frustrating.
Yeah, listen.
Back September, 33s for the Oaks.
Stop it. Stop.
So
Can't listen to that.
Such is life.
Anyway.
But
it was a positive equity decision.
This is the best betting opportunity of the week because if you back Clemmy and Alpha Centauri coupled, you'll win one of those bets. Yeah. You may even get a dead heat. That would be beautiful.
You're asking for a dead heat. Awesome.
I think Clemmy is going to go off a lot shorter than the price she is now. The run the last year, he couldn't have emphasised more beforehand. She needed the run, she needed the run, she needed the run. She absolutely outstanding form. She was the first Group 1 winner over 6 furlongs by Galileo, I think. Yeah. If not the second group winner by Galileo over 6 furlongs, I think. The other one trained by Jim Bulger. And we obviously have to take it for granted that she has trained on, but she's had a terribly interrupted year. She comes here really fresh now. That said, Alpha Centauri was brilliant at the Curragh, and she ran a blinder here last year. I'd be amazed if anything else won the race.
Mark, can you see beyond those top two? Or do you think Clemmy's might be even making the market for Alpha Centauri?
No, I absolutely. I think this could probably hinge on whether I have a good week or a bad week. I think Clemmy is absolutely bomb-proof. I think the run the last day when you could easily, Johnny says, he couldn't have been screaming it more. This filly is going to come on leaps and bounds. An outrageous 2-year-old campaign. I loved the end of the season, absolutely loved it. And I think just Everton is screaming that she's good enough. And when they knew they weren't getting to Newmarket with her, this has been the plan all along. Yeah. It couldn't have been more clear. I really Alpha Centauri is a lovely filly, and we love to see the Harringtons having a bit of luck. But at the same time, I don't think that standard will match the best of what Clemmy can produce. I think Clemmy is a bit outstanding.
Good stuff. Right, time for our best bets of the Royal Ascot week. Then, Shane, go on, I'll start with you.
Yeah, don't forget, Tom, as well, we're best odds guaranteed on your multiple bets between 12 and 2 each day as well. And you've got your money back offers each day in our Republic of Ireland shops. Extra places available as well in our Republic of Ireland estate. Going to go with Gustav Klimt to bring a bit of an upset at 8-1. I think Cracksman is pretty much bomb-proof in his race at 4-6. And finally, Rhododendron and the Queen Anne at 5-2.
Mark?
I'm going to go Clemmy in the Coronation in case you hadn't guessed. I'm going to stick in Just Wonderful in the Albany because I think that's where she goes, although there is debate over whether herself or Fairyland could be the route for Queen Mary.
Yeah.
But I really liked her, and I think it's rare that you see Ryan Moore get off one that wins a maiden first time up. Rarely see an O'Brien maiden winner first time up as well, but he came off and he said the word special, getting off her back. And I thought it was a lovely performance racing away from the rest of them as well on the rail. She must be really, really talented. And to make it a real barnstormer bet, Murillo in the jersey at 25s. Okay. I think he ran a cracker in the Coventry last year and he was unlucky in running. And I see Spirit of Valor ran a cracker last year behind the Bravido, if I can say it right. And I can see a similar scenario happening here in the Jersey. So 25 to 1. I think he's 20s actually with Ladbrokes. You can get 8s in some bookies. We're going to plug the boys here.
Good stuff. Well done, Ladbrokes.
Yeah, Murillo's definitely an interesting shout.
Yeah.
My
Okay, what's
three
your
are
filthy each way multiple? for the week?
Vizirabad in the Gold Cup, Clemmy in the Coronation, and Sergei Prokofiev in the
You're
Coventry.
ditching Alpha Centauri after putting her up to...
As a saver, but I think Clemmy
Yeah.
is a more talented filly.
Right, and I'm going to go with Wooten in St James's Palace, Saltonstall in the Royal Hunt Cup, and Indigo Balance in the Coventry, and then I'll retire after that, if that applies. Right, thanks a million for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll see you all again next week for more.